What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today. And today we're going to be talking about a potential trade I think the Houston Rockets should do going into the offseason. And it's been talked about a lot. Nothing but Twitter. Rockets fans on Twitter thinking that this trade would be a good trade for not as a specific trade, but just the player that the Rockets could be to potentially be trading for would be a really good trade for the Houston Rockets. And yeah, let's get into it. So now my intent, talking about this player coming to the Houston Rockets is for off the bench and not starting. And that player is Monte Morris at the point guard position. Was the starting point guard for the Washington Wizards last season. I think he spent 5 years. He's been in the NBA 5 years for Denver. Last year was his first year with Washington. Was a starter off and on in Denver. He was a starter, whenever Jamal Murray wasn't available. Sometimes he started the 2 when Murray was available. And, I think that Monte Morris, he had some decent years in Denver. His last year in Denver, he averaged 12 points per game. But the thing I like about the Rockets potentially adding him in is the need of a backup point guard, and that is my focus in this trade for the Rockets. Last year with the Wizards, 62 games played, 61 starts. He averaged 10.6 points per game. Two things that I like about his game that the Rockets were really bad at last year. Here's number one. 38.3 percentage. He's a good three-point shooter, and right there, that's something the Rockets weren't good at last year. He's going to come in shooting 38% like he did last year. That'd be a tremendous help for shooting off the bench. Then also, he does not turn the ball over a lot as a point guard, which some point guards for the Rockets off the bench last year, even Kevin Porter Jr. starting, turned the ball over a lot. Deshaun Nix, who I actually have in this trade, and if he were to be a part of this trade, if it went down, it'd be a miracle to finally see. I mean, he turned the ball over a lot for the Rockets. As much as I love Josh Christopher turned the ball over a lot as well. And the Rockets were one of the worst teams last season in turnovers, probably bottom 5. If not worse than that. And Monte Morris coming in as a backup point guard would help that issue with turnovers for the Houston Rockets. And not only turnovers is an issue, but three-point shooting and his efficiency. I just, you never see him. It's rare to see Monte Morris have a bad night. But yeah, I think he'd be great for off the bench for the Rockets, though. Let's get into what the trade would be to land Monte Morris in Houston. And I've seen some crazy trades, like giving Kevin Porter Jr. in the 20th overall pick. I've seen Jayshawn Tate in the 20th overall pick for Monte Morris. I've seen Jayshawn both Jayshawn and Kevin with the 20th overall pick. I've also seen Ty Washington, Josh Christopher, and Jayshawn Tate for Monte Morris. I like Monte Morris. He is a talented player. He comes in bringing stuff that the Rockets need desperately, like 3-point shooting and not turning the basketball over. But some of those mock trades I've seen, those 3 trades I just mentioned right there, that is not worth it right there. I'll be honest. The 20th overall pick, I could see that right there. Personally, I think that possibly if the Wizards would say to the Rockets, if you want a deal done, you're gonna have to give us a 20th overall pick. But then you're not gonna get a lot of players back. You're not gonna give them Jayshawn Tate or Kevin Porter Jr. return, because Kevin Porter Jr. Monte Morris is better than Kevin Porter Jr. I don't know about scoring, because KPJ is a really good scorer when he's, playing his best basketball. But Monte's a better shooter. Monte's better at not turning the ball over. But I don't know, with Kevin Porter Jr. and a first-round pick, is that worth it? And the same thing for Jayshawn. I'd maybe think about, if I was the Rockets, maybe Josh Christopher in that 20th overall pick, possibly. But at the same time, you don't know what you're going to get from Monte. And I know when I say that, it might sound weird. Yes, you know what you're going to get from him on the court, but he's on a 1-year contract. So you don't know, as much as the Rockets could be a better team next year, you really don't know if Monte Morris is going to want to stay on the Rockets going into free agency. A lot of players leave there, and if the Rockets, even if they get, Wembanyama, and the Jabari and Sengun and Jalen continue to get better, maybe they bring in James Harden and some other stuff. You never know. And players that only have 1-year contracts, only 1 year left on their contract, are worth less than players, that have more years on their contract. And KPJ, if you were to trade, KPJ has a lot of years left on his contract. I don't think it's worth it for the Rockets. Here's a couple trades I have that could maybe land Monte Morris in Houston. The first one I have is Josh Christopher and Daishawn Nix, with 3 second-round picks, 2 24s and 125. That's if the Wizards are like, okay, we'll take the young guard, we'll take the contract filler with Daishawn Nix. Maybe he can be a decent, player on the bottom of the bench. We'll take the young guard, Josh Christopher, try to develop him, and the 3 seconds. If we're just at this point, accepting really anything that is a good offer, a decent offer. Then if the Wizards are at the point where they're like, okay, we want some decent stuff back for Monte Morris, in that case, I would have the Rockets giving Josh Christopher and the 20th overall pick for Monte Morris. And those are the 2 trades I would only do. I think those are the 2. Or possibly, here's another one, possibly if the Wizards are looking for a big man, maybe Usman Garuba. Maybe Usman Garuba and Daishawn Nix to the Wizards with maybe a couple second-round picks or maybe 3 second-round picks. Usman Garuba and Daishawn Nix for Monte Morris. I guess that would be the third potential trade to send Monte Morris to Houston. But yeah, you guys have any thoughts on Monte Morris potentially come into Houston? As I think there is a chance that the Rockets are looking to possibly make some trades, maybe make a trade or 2. Before free agents, I don't know about before free agent. I don't know about before. I have no idea about before. Well, free agency. No, free agency's not first. The draft's first. So I don't know about before the draft, but maybe this could be a draft day trade. You just see a lot of trades, happen on the draft, or it happens before the draft if Monte Morris were to be coming to Houston. But yeah, if it happens, I'd be happy. I think he brings a lot of things to the Rockets that they struggled in last year. So I think it'd be a really good addition for the Rockets. That's for the video. Hope you guys enjoy them and thoughts, and peace out. Go Rockets.